Welcome back, dear listeners, to another installment of our weekly bedtime stories. If you've returned, it's likely you're seeking a moment of inspiration, a heartwarming narrative to uplift your spirits, or perhaps a tale to accompany you during those quiet moments when the world rests in peaceful serenity. Before we embark on tonight's captivating journey, I encourage you to press that subscribe button, ensuring you never miss a single story that can brighten your nights and warm your heart. Tonight's story, Finding Oswald, is a moving odyssey of resilience, friendship, and the power of acceptance. It's a narrative that will touch your soul and remind you of the enduring strength that lies within us all. So find your most comfortable refuge, let the world outside fade away, and allow the poignant narrative of Finding Oswald to envelop you. Join us as we explore a world where differences are celebrated, where friendships bridge the gaps, and where the human spirit triumphs over adversity. Chapter 1. A Lonely Beginning. In the quiet suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio, there lived a boy named Oswald. From a young age, he sensed that he was different, though he couldn't quite pinpoint why. It might have been his left-handedness, an anomaly in his right-handed world, or perhaps something deeper that set him apart. Oswald's world was a small one, primarily revolving around his mother, Joni. His father had been taken from them when Oswald was just 4 years old, a tragic victim of a drunk driver's recklessness. This loss cast a heavy shadow over their lives, leaving Joni to raise Oswald on her own. Life wasn't easy for Oswald. He struggled with Asperger's syndrome, a condition not well understood in the mid-90s. The treatments he received left him feeling foggy and forgetful, adding to his sense of isolation. With no siblings and few friends, Oswald found solace indoors, experimenting with computers. He was remarkably skilled in the world of technology, often spending hours tinkering with machines. Though many computers fell victim to his learning process, he persevered through trial and error. School was a place of mixed emotions for Oswald. The boys ridiculed him for being different, while the girls intimidated him with their unfamiliarity. Oswald wasn't athletically inclined, and his thick lenses served as a constant reminder of his poor eyesight. The children taunted him with cruel nicknames like Spaz and Helen Keller. Oswald's mother, Joni, was unaware of the torment her son endured daily. The teachers, too, failed to understand the depth of Oswald's struggles. They would lose patience easily, sometimes publicly humiliating him, thinking it would teach him a lesson. But Oswald's challenges weren't a result of obstinacy. They were rooted in his neurological condition. By second grade, Oswald found a glimmer of hope in the form of a new friend, John. John, like Oswald, also had Asperger's syndrome, and their shared experiences provided a much-needed connection. For the first time, Oswald had someone who understood him without judgment or dismissal. Yet John's time in Oswald's life was fleeting, as he moved away after just a year. Oswald once again returned to the solitude of his childhood, determined to overcome the hurdles that kept him apart from his peers. Stay tuned for Chapter 2, where Oswald's journey continues to unfold. Chapter 2, Alone in a Crowded Room. Oswald's solitude continued as he advanced through elementary school. His experiences in the early grades had left a lasting impact, and he remained socially isolated. But he was not one to give up easily. Determined to prove his worth academically, Oswald worked tirelessly to excel in his studies. He knew he possessed intelligence and the potential to break free from the resource room, where he had been placed due to his learning disorder. Being placed there, separated from his peers, only fueled the torment he felt from his classmates. High school brought a glimmer of hope as Oswald started to slowly chip away at the walls that had surrounded him. He was no longer the timid, lonely boy he once was. Instead, he sought help from a therapist for his social anxiety, recognizing that his struggles went beyond shyness. By junior year, Oswald had formed a small group of friends, all of whom shared his interests and accepted him for who he was. He was no longer just the kid who sat alone in the corner of the cafeteria. He auditioned for the school's talent show, deciding to share his experiences in a humorous monologue about life as a high schooler with autism. The talent show was a turning point in Oswald's life. His monologue struck a chord with the audience, eliciting both laughter and empathy. It was the first time his classmates truly saw him, not as the strange kid with Asperger's, but as a talented and funny individual. After the talent show, everything started to change for Oswald. Classmates began to greet him in the hallways, interact with him, and invite him to join them for lunch. Before he knew it, Oswald made the honor roll that year, a testament to his hard work and determination. Although he occasionally faced bullies, Oswald had found the courage to stand up for himself. Over time, the harassment dwindled, and he felt like a genuine part of his school community. He was even invited to parties, and people genuinely wanted to get to know him. Oswald's talent extended beyond humor. He was incredibly tech-savvy. He often helped teachers with their computer troubles during lessons and became the first IT intern at his high school, earning college credits for his work. The teachers saw him as a polite, mature young man who was disciplined like an adult, yet retained the innocence of a child. Oswald's transformation didn't go unnoticed by his mother, Joni, who saw a tremendous difference in his demeanor. He was genuinely happy for the first time since he had met John. With newfound confidence, Oswald reached out to John through social media that summer. Their reunion was met with excitement and a sense of rekindled friendship. Little did they know that their paths would lead them to something much bigger. Stay tuned for Chapter 3, where Oswald and John's journey takes an unexpected turn. Chapter 3, A Reunion and a Vision. Oswald and John, two old friends who had once navigated the challenges of Asperger's syndrome together, found themselves reconnected through the marvels of social media. Their virtual reunion was filled with excitement, shared memories, and the realization that they had both grown into remarkable individuals. In their early 30s, both Oswald and John had faced their own unique trials and tribulations, but they also carried with them the wisdom and strength that came from their past struggles. As they caught up over long phone calls and exchanged messages, they began to sense a shared purpose emerging. One evening, as they reminisced about their high school years and the profound impact of that talent show, Oswald had an idea that he couldn't keep to himself. "John," he said, "do you remember how much that talent show changed things for me? It wasn't just about laughter, it was about breaking down barriers and helping people understand what it's like to be different." John nodded, his voice filled with understanding. "I remember, Oswald. It was a turning point for you, and it was incredible to witness your successful transition to adulthood." With conviction in his voice, Oswald continued, "I think we can do something bigger, something that could help not only people with autism, but anyone who feels like they don't quite fit in. We can raise awareness and create a support network, John." John's eyes lit up with enthusiasm. "I'm with you, Oswald. What do you have in mind?" They decided to start an organization that would focus on raising awareness for autism spectrum disorder, mental health services, and more broadly, promoting acceptance and support for individuals who felt different or marginalized. They were determined to make a difference in the lives of those who face similar challenges. But the first step was to come up with a name for their organization. They spent hours brainstorming, tossing around ideas that reflected their mission of acceptance, understanding, and unity. After much contemplation, they settled on a name that captured the essence of their vision, Uniquely United. With a name in place, Oswald and John set out on their mission to raise awareness and spread love throughout the world. They began by sharing their personal stories, conducting interviews, and advocating for increased support and resources for people on the autism spectrum. Their message resonated with a wide audience, and their efforts soon garnered attention from various media outlets. Television appearances followed, along with an outpouring of letters and messages expressing gratitude for their work. Oswald, in particular, became known for his passionate and heartfelt speeches about the importance of acceptance and the beauty of diversity. One of the highlights of their journey was Oswald's TED Talk. In front of a captivated audience, he shared his childhood experiences and the profound impact of friendship. He emphasized that it wasn't just people with autism who struggled to fit in. It was all of us who didn't conform to the traditional mold. He urged the audience to educate their children to love and accept everyone for who they are. As Oswald concluded his TED Talk to a standing ovation, he knew that he and John were on the right path. Together, they were making a difference in the world, one story, one speech, and one act of kindness at a time. Stay tuned for Chapter 4, where Oswald and John's organization, Uniquely United, begins to gain momentum and change lives. Chapter 4, Uniquely United takes flight. Oswald and John's organization, Uniquely United, had begun to gain momentum, and their shared vision was becoming a reality. The duo was on a mission to make the world a more inclusive and accepting place for everyone, regardless of their differences. Their message resonated with people from all walks of life, and soon they found themselves invited to speak at conferences, schools, and community events. Their advocacy work was transforming into a movement, inspiring others to embrace diversity and create supportive environments. As Uniquely United gained recognition, their reach extended beyond their local community. They received invitations for television interviews, podcasts, and even radio shows, where they continued to share their stories and promote their message of acceptance. Oswald's TED Talk had served as a catalyst, sparking a global conversation about the importance of embracing uniqueness. Uniquely United wasn't just about raising awareness, it was about action. Oswald and John organized workshops and support groups for individuals with autism, offering a safe space where they could share their experiences and find strength in one another. They also worked tirelessly to advocate for improved mental health services for those on the spectrum. One of their most significant achievements was the publication of a book co-authored by Oswald and John. Embrace Your Uniqueness, A Journey to Acceptance, was a heartfelt account of their personal struggles, triumphs, and the lessons they had learned along the way. The book touched the hearts of readers worldwide, inspiring them to see the beauty in diversity. Uniquely United wasn't just changing the lives of those with autism, it was also transforming Oswald and John. Their work allowed them to connect with countless individuals who shared their stories of resilience and hope. They were constantly reminded that they were not alone in their mission, but with success came challenges. The demands of running an organization, speaking engagements, and advocacy work began to take a toll on their personal lives. Oswald and John faced the delicate balance of managing their own mental health while helping others. They knew they needed to find a way to sustain their efforts without burning out. In Chapter 5, Oswald and John navigate the challenges of balancing their personal well-being with their mission to promote acceptance and support. Their journey continues as they discover new ways to make a lasting impact on the world. Chapter 5, Navigating the Balancing Act. Oswald and John had embarked on a remarkable journey with Uniquely United, spreading their message of acceptance and support far and wide. However, as the organization's reach grew, they found themselves facing a new set of challenges. The demands of managing Uniquely United, coupled with their numerous speaking engagements and advocacy work, had become increasingly overwhelming. Oswald, in particular, began to feel the weight of these responsibilities bearing down on him. He'd always been passionate about their cause, but now he grappled with the pressure to constantly inspire and educate others. One evening, after an emotionally taxing speaking engagement, Oswald confided in John. "I love what we do, John, but I can't deny that it's taking a toll on me. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed." John nodded empathetically. "I understand, Oswald. It's been a whirlwind and we've come so far, but we need to take care of ourselves as well." Determined to find a solution, they decided to reevaluate their commitments. They began delegating responsibilities within Uniquely United to trusted team members who shared their passion and vision. This approach allowed them to focus more on self-care and rejuvenation. Oswald started seeking therapy to address his anxiety and develop coping strategies. John, too, prioritized his mental well-being by practicing mindfulness and meditation. They realized that taking care of themselves was essential, not only for their own sake, but also for the sustainability of Uniquely United. During this period of self-reflection and self-care, Oswald and John brainstormed a new initiative for Uniquely United. They envisioned a mentorship program that would pair individuals on the autism spectrum with mentors who could provide guidance, support, and friendship. The mentorship program aimed to create meaningful connections and reduce the sense of isolation that many individuals with autism experienced. They believed that the power of one-on-one support could be transformative, just as their own friendship had been. With their vision in mind, Oswald and John worked tirelessly to launch the mentorship program. They reached out to their network, seeking volunteers who were willing to mentor and support those in need. The response was overwhelming, and they soon had a dedicated team of mentors ready to make a difference. The program's impact was profound. They witnessed incredible transformations in the lives of those involved, with mentors providing guidance and individuals with autism gaining newfound confidence and skills. It was a reminder that even in the midst of their challenges, there was always room for growth and positive change. As Uniquely United continued to evolve, Oswald and John understood that their journey was far from over. They had navigated the balancing act of advocacy and self-care, and they had emerged stronger and more determined than ever. In Chapter 6, Oswald and John will face new challenges and continue to expand the reach of Uniquely United. Their journey will demonstrate the power of resilience and the impact of their unwavering dedication to making the world a more inclusive place. Chapter 6, Challenges and Triumphs. As the years passed, Uniquely United continued to thrive, but Oswald and John faced their fair share of challenges. The demands of their organization, speaking engagements, and advocacy work were relentless, and they often found themselves stretched thin. Balancing their personal lives and mental health with their mission to promote acceptance and support proved to be a complex task. Oswald, in particular, felt the weight of his responsibilities heavily. He began to experience moments of burnout and anxiety, grappling with the pressure to constantly inspire and educate others. One evening, after a particularly draining speaking engagement, Oswald confided in John, "I love what we do, John, but I can't deny that it's taking a toll on me. I'm starting to feel overwhelmed." John nodded empathetically. "I feel it too, Oswald. We've come so far and we've helped so many people, but we need to take care of ourselves as well." Determined to find a solution, they decided to take a step back from some of their commitments. They began delegating responsibilities within Uniquely United to trusted team members who shared their passion and vision. This allowed them to focus more on self-care and rejuvenation. Oswald sought therapy to address his anxiety and develop coping strategies. John, too, prioritized his mental well-being and started practicing mindfulness and meditation. They realized that taking care of themselves was essential not only for their own sake, but also for the sustainability of Uniquely United. During this period of self-reflection and self-care, Oswald and John came up with a new initiative for Uniquely United. They launched a mentorship program that paired individuals on the autism spectrum with mentors who could provide guidance, support, and friendship. This program aimed to create meaningful connections and reduce the sense of isolation that many individuals with autism experienced. The mentorship program was a resounding success. They witnessed incredible transformations in the lives of those involved, and the program quickly expanded to serve a larger community. Oswald and John were invigorated by the positive impact they were making and felt re-energized in their mission. Their journey continued to evolve, but they had learned a valuable lesson. Advocating for acceptance and support was not just about changing the world, it was also about taking care of oneself in the process. In Chapter 7, the final chapter of this story, Oswald and John reflect on their journey and the legacy they hope to leave behind. They continue to inspire and uplift those around them, demonstrating that the power of acceptance and unity can change lives. Chapter 7, Leaving a Legacy. As Oswald and John continued their mission with Uniquely United, they couldn't help but reflect on the remarkable journey they had embarked on. The challenges they had faced, the lives they had touched, and the lessons they had learned all contributed to the legacy they hoped to leave behind. Their organization had grown beyond their wildest dreams, touching the lives of countless individuals. The mentorship program they had initiated had become a beacon of hope for people on the autism spectrum, offering them guidance and companionship on their own unique journeys. As they entered their 40s, Oswald and John recognized that it was time to plan for the future of Uniquely United. They wanted their organization to continue making a positive impact long after they were no longer at the helm. To achieve this, they began working on a succession plan, identifying dedicated individuals who shared their passion and values. They also established an endowment fund to ensure the financial sustainability of Uniquely United. They knew that the work they had started was too important to fade away, and they were determined to secure its future. Throughout their journey, Oswald and John had received countless letters, emails, and messages from people whose lives had been transformed by their advocacy work. They had seen individuals with autism go on to achieve their dreams, break down barriers, and find acceptance in a world that had often felt unwelcoming. One of their proudest moments was when they received an invitation to speak at an international conference on autism awareness. Standing on a stage in front of a diverse audience from around the world, they shared their stories and their vision for a more inclusive society. Their message of acceptance and unity transcended borders and languages, resonating with people from all walks of life. As they concluded their speech, Oswald and John looked at each other, knowing that they had accomplished what they had set out to do. They had not only raised awareness for autism spectrum disorder and mental health, but had also inspired a global movement of acceptance and support. In their own lives, they had found a sense of fulfillment and purpose that went beyond their wildest dreams. They had learned that making a difference didn't require extraordinary abilities. It simply required a willingness to embrace one's uniqueness and share that acceptance with others. And so, as Oswald and John looked back on their journey, they were filled with gratitude for the opportunities they had been given and the lives they had touched. Their legacy was not just an organization or a name. It was the profound impact they had made on the world, one story, one speech, and one act of kindness at a time. As they approached their golden years, Oswald and John knew that their work was far from over. Their legacy would continue to inspire generations to come, reminding the world that it was okay to be different and that acceptance and unity could truly change lives. And so, the story of Oswald and John of Uniquely United came to a close, but the message they had shared would live on, echoing in the hearts and minds of those who had been touched by their journey.